From Emma Watson in Beauty and the Beast to Jake Gyllenhaal in Okja, here are some movies that were ruined due to terrible acting by the main actors. Let's dive right in, starting off with none other than January Jones in X-Men First Class.
Pathetic. You can stop trying to read my mind, sugar.
When X-Men First Class hit the theaters, fans were pretty stoked. The movie had a killer combo of familiar faces and big-time talent, and it mostly delivered, except for January Jones. Jones, who you may remember from her work on Mad Men, played Emma Frost in the movie. Sadly, her performance fell short and didn't bring much to the table. It's a mystery why such a seasoned actress couldn't bring her A-game to this role, but one thing's for sure, we haven't seen Frost pop up in any future X-Men films. All in all, it's pretty safe to say that Jones's performance wasn't the highlight of this movie, but at least she wasn't dragged for it as much as Jake Gyllenhaal was for his performance in Okja.
You want some? It'll make you feel better.
The movie was about a genetically modified pig and received a lot of praise from both critics and audiences. Everyone seemed to love just about everything in the film except for Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, Gyllenhaal played zoologist Johnny Wilcox, who's a bit of a weird character. But let's be real, the actor took the weirdness to a completely new and unwanted level. When all was said and done, he came off more obnoxious than bizarre. Listen, I've got nothing against Jake Gyllenhaal. The guy's a pretty decent actor. I mean, Nightcrawler was freaking awesome and really showed off his talent. But let's be real, in Okja, he's just unwatchable. And I don't know what he was going for with his performance as zoologist Johnny Wilcox, but he looked like a budget Jim Carrey on steroids. His over-the-top antics were just too much to handle, and his nasal voice was like nails on a chalkboard. Seriously, what was he thinking? And what was the director, Bong Joon-ho, thinking by letting him do that? Honestly, Gyllenhaal almost single-handedly ruined an otherwise wonderful film. Here's hoping he makes better choices in his future roles. Now, this isn't the only time an otherwise good actor did a really bad job. Let's talk about Kristen Stewart in Snow White and the Huntsman.
Iron will melt, but it will writhe inside of itself. All these years, all I've known is darkness. But I have never seen a brighter light than when my eyes just opened.
Okay, so we all know that Kristen Stewart first rose to fame by playing the awkward, angst-ridden teen Bella Swan in Twilight. Unfortunately, she became known for her wooden acting and blank expressions. But even though she's grown into a badass Hollywood star in recent years, some people still can't forget her bad acting in Snow White and the Huntsman. The movie was supposed to be a gritty, action-packed retelling of the classic fairy tale, but it just fell flat. And according to most critics, the biggest problem was Stewart's laughably bad performance as Snow White. She just didn't have the natural instincts or upper crust demeanor that a princess should have. Salon's Andrew O'Hare even went so far as to say that she looked and acted a little too much like a standoffish American girl faking a posh accent. Ouch. Dana Stevens of Slate agreed, writing that Stewart's slouchy bearing and general aura of sulky passivity destroyed the entire film. I mean, it's not like Kristen Stewart is a bad actress. She's proven that she can do great work in movies like Personal Shopper and Still Alice. But for whatever reason, Snow White and the Huntsman just wasn't her best moment. Now, the majority of the cast pretty much ruined this next film. Let's talk about 1517 to Paris. Clint Eastwood took a gamble when he cast a bunch of inexperienced actors for his film The 1517 to Paris. The movie is based on the true story of a terrorist attack on a train, and Eastwood had the actual people involved play themselves in the film. It's a bold move, but unfortunately, it didn't pay off. The non-actors struggled to bring their story to life and were super stiff and uncomfortable on camera. Eastwood's directing style didn't help matters either, with his one-take method leaving no room for error. The critics weren't impressed, labeling the acting painfully obvious and mortifyingly bad. The 1517 to Paris may be a cool story, but the movie version definitely missed the mark. The 1517 to Paris casting and direction, which failed to accurately depict the heroic story it was based on, disappointed both critics and viewers. While Eastwood's decision to cast non-actors was certainly a bold one, it ultimately didn't pay off. Now, this next franchise is a remake of a beloved Disney princess, but its live-action remake was ruined by some bad acting. I'm talking about Emma Watson in Disney's The Beauty and the Beast live-action remake.
All I wanted was to teach a child to read. Gaston, we could never make each other happy. Can you imagine? Me, the wife of that boorish, brainless.
First of all, can we all agree that she can't sing? The autotune had to work overtime to cover it up, which made the singing scenes super cringeworthy. But that's not all. Her acting was also pretty weak and forced. It's like she only knows how to play Hermione, but that's it. And to make matters worse, she refused to wear the classic corset dress, which really killed the vibe. And let's not forget, she only got the role because of her name, pushing out more deserving and suitable people. It's a real shame, because the movie had potential. But hey, at least everyone else looked and sounded amazing. Maybe next time, they can cast a real stunner of an actress who can sing and act without bringing their personal agenda into the mix. There are plenty of talented actresses out there who could have made this movie truly magical. And this isn't the only remake that didn't do so well because of super bad acting by the main actor. Let's talk about Godzilla. Let's put it this way, Aaron Taylor Johnson in Godzilla is like a red sock in a load of white laundry. He might seem harmless, but he can totally ruin everything around him. Playing US Navy Lieutenant Ford Brody, he was about as exciting as a soggy sandwich. And let's be real, in a monster movie, you need some personality, right? The critics weren't impressed with his performance, to say the least. Salon's Nico Lang said Taylor Johnson's attempts at emoting were so bad that the audience burst out laughing. Yikes. Sure, the guy's got some acting chops. Just check out his Golden Globe-winning work in Nocturnal Animals if you're doubtful. But in Godzilla, he was more brain-dead than a zombie. You'd think the main character in a movie all about a giant monster would be, well, more monstrous. However, Bryan Cranston's persona and the King of Monsters themselves trumped Taylor Johnson's performance, and that's not a good look for a lead actor. Finally, let's wrap up this video with one last really bad acting performance that totally ruined the movie. Dane DeHaan in Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Where's the band?
You plan on going on a mission dressed like that?
We're supposed to mingle with tourists, aren't we? What do you expect us to wear, a panda suit?
The movie had so much potential to be an out-of-this-world sci-fi flick, but it seems like Dane DeHaan forgot to bring his personality to the set. As the main character, Valerian, he was about as exciting as a cardboard box. But we can't really put all of the blame on him. After all, he wasn't the only bad actor there. Guys, let's not forget about Cara Delevingne's equally snooze-worthy portrayal of his partner in crime. Let's put it this way. When you're the lead in a movie, and you can't even bring the energy to match the CGI aliens, you know you've messed up. And that's all for movies that were ruined because the main actors did a really bad job at acting.